Never let somebody tell you that you're less than. Never trust anybody with a bunch of yes man. What's up everyone? I'm Trey Baird. This is Majik Ninja Monday, and we're going to get into the Young Wicked solo album, Return of the Prodigal Son, right after the intro. Alright everyone, it's Majik Ninja Monday. You know what time it is. We're going to do a little album review today, and it's an album that I like quite a bit. It's not my favorite, but it was what needed to come out at that moment. Today, we're getting into Young Wicked, The Return of the Prodigal Son. So this was the album that came out amidst a whole bunch of controversy. If you're not familiar with the story, Young Wicked, aka Otis, of the Axe Murder Boys, been Psychopathic Records for a long time, off and on of course, because very few people actually stay on the album, on the label, for long periods of time. They usually come and go. But there was a whole bunch of controversy surrounding Young Wicked. If you're not familiar with the story, I mean, this video isn't going to turn into a big explanation about the controversy, but a very long story short, Young Wicked gets into a relationship and has a baby with Jumpsteady's daughter Samantha. Jumpsteady is the brother of Violent J, who is the creative cult leader of Psychopathic Records. So this album was, I mean, when Young Wicked went to Majik Ninja, he put out another album, like an EP, right off the bat. Like, it came out as soon as he was announced. It was called Vengeance, and Vengeance in the sense that it was directed, vengeance at Psychopathic and ICP and the Bruce Brothers specifically. Basically, spoiler alerts for if you're the type of person who thinks that an album can be spoiled. The message is that, you know, success is the best vengeance against your enemies, and that's what's motivating Young Wicked to be successful, is he wants to rub it in their faces. So that was a very angry and sad EP. It was made during a very difficult point in his life when all of this went down. And this was a follow-up, which was also made during that same difficult time. You know, the packaging is pretty cool. You got this fold-out poster inside. You know, Young Wicked with the gun. It's pretty cool. And the other side, you got this fold-out poster and little teaser for an album that we already knew was coming, but they just wanted to remind you, hey, it's still coming out, even if it's not on Psychopathic, it's still coming out on Majik Ninja Entertainment, Muerte, and you best believe we're going to review that album on here, on this show right here. You know, you got your CD, Majik Ninja has been killing it with their graphic design, in my opinion. You know, every album has a theme, look, a motif, and, you know, graphic design has been always on point. I have very little to nitpick over. And then you got your liner notes there. Pretty standard stuff there. So, as is tradition with a lot of music album reviews for this genre, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through each song and kind of give my thoughts and my ratings on the song itself, you know, 1 through 10. And then I'm going to go back and review the entire album with a 1 through 10 score. And it doesn't necessarily need to be an average. You know, an album is more than the sum of its parts. I may like a bunch of songs on the album, but think that it's not a cohesive album. Or I may think it's not a cohesive album, or, you know, I may think it's a very cohesive album, but the songs themselves don't stick out. And, you know, it always depends on your mood. You know, what kind of mood are you in when you're listening to the song? You may like it a little bit more than other times, so I try to factor that into my score as well. Anyway, let's get in. So you have your intro, and if you're not familiar with A and B and Young Wicked intros, they kind of have a style of their own. They're always abstract. They're always kind of, they get the momentum going real slow, and this one is no different. A lot of their intros are kind of forgettable. This one is no different, but it does what it needs to do. Track 2, Burnin' Smoke. It's a good track, not gonna lie, but it kind of tells you what you're getting into with this album. This isn't gonna be, Young Wicked flexing all over the place with his staccato, shoot from the hip type style, chopper, million syllables per verse. Even though he can do it, that's not what this album's about. This album is about a fresh start. It's about making better choices in your life and gracefully moving forward even when it's difficult to. And it's just sort of a reset button on his career. So that's kind of how I look at the track. Starts the album off slow, but that's kind of the point. I'm gonna, I didn't rate the intro because the intro is kind of irrelevant as far as numbers go. But Burnin' Smoke, I give it a 7 out of 10. Moving on, I Ain't The One with Boyz and the R.O.C. This is a track where things start to pick up a little bit. Boyz is always a welcome guest on any track. He has that sense of familiarity, that homie love that you're just looking for. And I like how he has his verse coming in nice and slow, and then Young Wicked comes on as boom, 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 and I love that verse. And R.O.C, he has his weird creative style that he always comes with, and here's no different. But this track is a banger. I give this track a 9 out of 10. I love this track. I can listen to it anytime. Keep It Pushing. So we're building some momentum now. We're getting more of that chopper staccato style that Young Wicked is known for, and it's a good track. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because it's all in the title. I keep it pushing, move it forward, don't stop, etc., etc. It's almost like a Young Wicked and A and B cliche. The grind in, keep it pushing, etc. They've made a million verses about this. They'll make a million more. This one, good listen. 7 out of 10. Going Through Something with Mac Lethal. I'm not a fan of this track. Mac Lethal is awesome. He always comes correct. I just kind of feel like the album loses momentum with this track. We built it up with the previous 2 tracks, and then it just kind of like slows back down with this track. It's not, the hook isn't memorable. It's not something you want to sing along to, and it's just a whole lot of just chill vibe stuff. Yeah, that's about all I can say about it. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, and that's being generous. Believe. This one was a single, had a music video, and it's basically just about Young Wicked making a believer out of his haters, which has been the story of his career and continues to be the story of his career. But hopefully we can move on to something new in his career, because it's about time that Young Wicked and Bones Dub started getting a little bit of respect, if for no other reason than to not let the hate and opposition slow them down. You don't even have to like their music, but you gotta respect the hustle and the grind, in my opinion. Otherwise you're a player hater. You don't have to like it, but you should respect it. It's a very fast-paced song, lots of clever lines in it. It's something that can be thrown in a playlist, and when it comes on, you're like, yeah, that's good stuff. I like it. 8 out of 10. Stronger in the Finish. This remixes a line from his previous album the EP that I mentioned earlier, Vengeance. I know that I'll be stronger in the finish, handling my business. Can I get a witness? So it's kind of, you know, like taking the message of Solo Ride, which the song was taken from, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very sad and depressing song. And it's kind of like turning it on its head a little bit, making it a little bit more upbeat, a little less depressing, same message, hardship, you know, going through something, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, etc. Just kind of like making it a little less depressing to listen to. It's not bad. I don't care for the intro at all. The intro, you know, I wish I could just skip the intro to the song. The song is good, but the intro might turn you off. Don't let it. So, not counting the intro, 8 out of 10. But counting the intro, 5 or 6 out of 10. Like, the intro really brings it down quite a bit. Which, this is a theme in this album. Like, it has some really good classic moments, but then there's just a few missteps that bring the experience down, in my opinion. And that intro is one of them. Blow, wild, blow, blah, 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 wild, blow, with Monoxide and Gmo Ski. This is a good track. This is one of those, you know, talking shit party tracks that you get your homies on, and it's good stuff. Monoxide never fails to come correct nowadays. He always has good verses, and Gmo never fails to put a smile on my face. You put these three together, it's good stuff. I know I keep saying good stuff, but you know, that's how I feel. Not a whole lot to say about this track. Not a whole lot sticks out. It's just a good, you know, consistently good track. 8 out of 10. PTOMP, or Put That On My Pain. I like this song. It has a good intro, and it has a good middle and a good end, and it feels from the heart. I like it. I find myself singing this song sometimes just out of the blue. And the thing is, this song didn't grab me the first time I listened to it. It's one of those sleeper hits that, you know, you hear a few dozen times and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I like this song. When did that happen? You know what I mean? 9 out of 10. Maniac. So, this is the opposite. I liked it the first time I heard it, and liked it a little less each subsequent time. It's pretty much what it sounds like. It's you know, I'm crazy, I'm a maniac, I'm a murderer. You know, you've heard this kind of stuff a million times from AMB and everyone else in the horrorcore genre. It's not a bad track. It's pretty cool. It's kind of catchy, but nothing special. 7 out of 10. Moving right along, the track Fuck It with Lex the Hexmaster. This track is banging. I love this track. This is the standout track for me on the album. This is the one I always play no matter what. I never skip this track. First of all, I'm a big Lex fan, but I'm also a big Young Wicked fan, and you know, they've been together on other songs that I don't like as much, but the stars just aligned on this one, and it's hot. Hot, hot, hot. I love it. So, yeah, 10 out of 10 all day, son. Next up, Too Long in the Dark. This one got a music video, and it's similar to the other singles on the track. You know, there's a theme going on here, overcoming adversity, you know, new beginning, all that stuff. You know, it's a good track. The beat is really nice. I love the instrumental. It's really cool. Even if the subject matter itself has been done before, it's still a good solid track, and I give it an 8 out of 10. After that, Still I Rise with Jamie Madrox and Ritz. And you know, this was another single that they made a video out of, and it's a good track. I like that Young Wicked is first up on the track because, you know, I like Ritz and I like Jamie Madrox, but I don't think that either of them knocked it out of the park with their verse on this track. It's nice to have all three of these behemoths on one track. You know, all three of these guys are uber talented, and they're either going places or they've gone places and are continuing to go places. But, you know, I think Young Wicked shines the hardest on the track because, I mean, it's about him. It's about how, you know, the powers that be in the Juggalo world want Young Wicked to just go away. And despite all of the adversity, he continues to flourish and continues to go higher and higher. So, I mean, I'm not super familiar with Ritz's backstory. Maybe he can relate to that as well. And Jamie Madrox, I think to a lesser extent than A&B Young Wicked, because I'm sure there's people out there that want Twisted to go away. I'm sure ICP wishes Twisted would go away, but they're not. You know, they might even be around longer than ICP at this rate, but I digress. Good solid track. I'd give it a 9 out of 10, but I'm just not crazy about the features, so I give it a 8 out of 10. You know, and Still I Rise could have been the end of the album, but they finished strong with Carry On. And it's just a feel-good, uplifting, motivational song. And it's got the longest first verse I've ever heard in my life. It just goes on and on and on. If I'm not mistaken, the chorus doesn't even kick in till like the 2-minute mark. But, you know, it's just an epic ballad-like track. And it's a good way to close out an album such as this. Alright, now that we've arrived at the end, what's my final score? You know, I'm conflicted on this one because there's a few tracks on here that I absolutely love, but then, as I said earlier, there's a few areas where it just kind of, you know, skips a beat. It kind of falls apart in a few areas for me. So, as much as I love it, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I'd give it a higher rating if it wasn't for just a few hiccups. But with that, this video is a wrap. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check back every day for daily content. That's right, that's how we're doing it this time. Every day, son. And I'll catch you later. Peace out.